Hello. Okay, this is a bit awkward, but nice to meet everyone. My name is Cheryl. It's my first time doing a video recording um, because this is kind of the start of my journey in doing YouTube, I guess, because I've always wanted to do content, but maybe not so much in the way what you've seen in the market so far, in maybe like in the content creation space, because I feel that there's a lot of saturations of content out there with, I don't know, every year there's a new trend coming out. But I think last time was how to make money fast, how do I do budgeting, how do I create a new a side project or like a side hustle. And I think it's just very interesting to see all this. At the same time, as someone who is also approaching my 30s, I kind of am quite interested in all this kind of topics of how do I retire early, how can I earn more money, what are side hustles that I can do without putting much effort. Like everybody wish they can retire early without spending money. And well, I mean, I'm maybe getting too in detail right now, but yeah, I think I'm gonna just start this journey of sharing my experiences and thoughts about what people in our generation can do, what I've been doing, and what I am inspired by. So maybe just a quick introduction of myself. I am Cheryl. My name is Cheryl. I'm Singaporean, um, living in a HDB. I'm the only child in a family of three with my parents, both retired. So I'm the main breadwinner in the family. So I think a lot about finances. To be honest, ever since young, I've always been concerned about finances. I always try my best to work hard as much as I can and just earn money so that I can retire early and hopefully not worry so much about finances. But I guess the worry is now instead of in the future. So maybe I'll share a little bit more about that in the future. So coming to that, in terms of career wise, I am currently a senior client manager at an agency in the design space, doing branding, packaging, and a little bit of marketing here and there. So that's kind of my background. And I mean, if one day maybe I can share a little bit more in detail about my personal life and my experiences, but I guess today is kind of just a kickstart to share about my thoughts and kind of just push this forward. Because actually I've always wanted to do passion projects, side projects, and I've always been doing that actually for throughout my years, I guess. It's kind of like a side quest in my main quest, and I honestly, we always say side quest and main quest, but I don't actually know what is my main quest. Although a common main quest that everyone is saying is you study hard in school, you graduate from university, you find a good job, you get promotion, you get married, you have a child, you buy a house, or buy a house and get a child, and your child grows up and you retire happy. I guess that's generally what the space of a main quest is. But I never really felt that was kind of what I'm leaning towards. I never knew what my career path was up to many years ago, I guess. And then there was also some hurdles along the way because I didn't do amazing in school. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't good. And when you're mediocre in a country like Singapore, it's quite challenging. So there's a lot of things that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Of course, there are people with challenges that they face and they share about it, or like people who are very successful and they share about it. But I guess you don't really hear much about those who are mediocre. I think that's probably the best way I can say, because I don't think I'm in the top tier, neither am I in the bottom tier. I'm really just smack in the middle. It's not amazing, you're not suffering, but you're also not enjoying your life. So I have a lot to say about this, which I think I'll probably plan out kind of content agenda or something that I can discuss in the future, like share about more in the future. So that's kind of what I want to start it off with. And I think in this channel, I am likely to share a lot about my own personal finance journey, not in a way to become a billionaire or millionaire, because honestly, I'm nowhere close. And I've seen people saying that, oh, I've hit my first 100K, I've hit my first million, and I bought my house before I hit 30s. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. How do they do that? And a lot of them don't come necessarily from well-off families, because if you're coming from a well-off background, likely you won't even be posting about this, because you might have already hit your first million even before you started working, which I think is the stark difference between someone who was working hard for it and someone who does work hard, but maybe they just are fortunate enough to get it early. But I think just to, I guess, juxtapose it, everything is how is someone mediocre doing, and what's the learning journey behind it, because there's a lot of things I still don't know at the age where I'm supposed to be an adult. Like, I'm supposed to know about investing, I'm supposed to know about healthcare, I'm supposed to know about insurance, but all these are still a learning journey to me as day in day out of my life. And even in my career path, there's a lot of things you don't really learn in school, or people don't tell you about it. You just gradually like picked up about it, and like you learn how things proceed. So yeah. And since I was talking about my passion project, I did have a lot of passion project which I maybe can just briefly share about. Since I did kind of random things here and there. When I was in primary school, I actually learned about sign language very, very briefly, because I was in a co-curriculum activity, which is after school activity, called St. John's, which taught about first aid. And just nice, they were teaching about the sign language, but one day the CC just disappeared, and I just never had a CC after that. Then when I went to secondary school, I somehow went into volleyball for a good year, and it didn't stick to me because I don't feel like I'm someone who really can do sports actively, and I don't have the endurance and the grit to do it, I guess. So I managed to get into a sports that a lot of people wanted to get in. I didn't know how I got in, but I was in. But I wasn't doing well enough to stay in the CCA. And then when I changed the CCA, I was actually in first Red Cross. So it was also very similar to my very first CCA, which is Red Cross. Oh, jumping back to that, I actually was in Chinese dance as a child. And the same thing, I wasn't doing well enough. I was not like a slim, petite girl. I was short, but I was not skinny. So I never stayed in the CCA after like maybe 1 or 2 years. They kicked me out because I was not suitable to perform, and I just didn't stay any longer. So I was already doing kind of like random side quests when I was already quite young. So that was kind of what I've been doing when I was younger. And then I went to junior college, and I picked up photography, which I really enjoy. And up to this day, I still want to do it more actively. I've been doing it quite a bit. I bought a camera of my own pocket money, but I didn't proactively work on it. I had a photography account. I even created a Shutterstock account just to like be more active, but I really didn't make much use of it, which is something that I kind of want to work on when I can't say I get more time, but I want to eventually work on it. And I think another interesting thing that I picked up was I've also did a podcast about a couple of years back. I think when COVID was over, I did like about 10 episodes of podcast, and I really wanted to do more, but something just hit me and I just couldn't do it. Even though there was like plenty of ideas in my mind, I was like 30, at least 30 plus episodes in mind of content that I could come up with, but I didn't get to it, and it's something that I'm thinking about regularly, so I just want to get back to it. Then and I have so many like sports kind of side quests that I want to do, because I don't like to do hardcore sports. Like I don't like to do running, I don't like to do competition, but I enjoy doing activities like I did rock climbing, but very, very, very leisurely. I only climb my own, especially during COVID period, because I think I didn't have much thing to do. So I think at the time rock climbing was really, really a great activity for me to pick up on, and I enjoyed it. It kept me fit, because otherwise I'll probably gain a lot of weight, because you don't really do much during that circuit breaker period when COVID was quite high on back then. And I think after I took a break from rock climbing, because all the gym was closed down during the full-on circuit breaker, I did a bit of skateboarding, which I think it was quite therapeutic because it was just me skating like straight. I don't dare to do anything hardcore, which is why I say I'm really mediocre in terms of honestly all platform. I'm not an expert, but I'm not too beginner at the same time. So I just keep cruising like hours, and I just skate back home. And then when it was a traffic light, I would just carry my board and walk back home because I didn't dare to skate on the road because I scared my board would just fly off. So yeah, I think just naming this couple of things, I really quite have a number of things that I'm doing outside of my job that I enjoy and I want to do more of, but for some reason I just couldn't put myself into it. Even doing this kind of like content creation is something I always wanted to do, but I never got into it. Yeah, so I guess maybe one reason why I wanted to do kind of like a content style is because I've also been in a situation where I had to speak every week in a public speaking setting, and that kind of trained me to learn how to vocalize my thoughts. And I kind of experienced it. I don't like speaking in front of thousands of people like live, but I can do it if I want to. And I think it kind of trains me to be better representation of myself, to vocalize my thoughts, to also think through things more thoroughly with less filler words and like appropriate pauses. Because I think earlier on I would have not been this good at that. But I guess practice helps, and I think I want to do more of it because I feel that if I don't kind of have a avenue to speak out, I often turn, I don't know how to say, like I'm not able to vocalize my thoughts, which I think is something that I am struggling with right now because I have a lot of things in my head, but I can't naturally say them out as fluently as I wish I could. So I think this is kind of just a platform for me to share more about myself and also my journey in my life as a mediocre Singaporean. And then as time goes by, probably I'll share a little bit more about my finance journey, my personal life journey, and I feel that there's a lot of things that I would want to hear from others about similar experiences or situations, which I think would be very, very helpful. Yeah, so I think that's kind of what I would like to share in the future moving on. So this is kind of the first episode, and if I have more time I will try to do more of this. As of now, what I'm doing is kind of just sharing my podcast on YouTube because I already have it on Spotify and Anchor. But I think Anchor has recently changed their name to creators for Spotify, so I'm not sure if you can still access it on Anchor, but I'll find out, and I'll probably share it across if I could. So as of now, this is my like debut into YouTube. So nice to meet everyone, and I hope to see you soon again next time. And thank you for looking at this video. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, it doesn't really matter to me at this point because yeah. Alright, thank you so much and goodbye.